Now then guys, Quinn's Dude here, welcome back to the Rad Music Chat channel. Thank you so much for joining again, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll be notified anytime that I upload new content. So for today's video, we're jumping back into the 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die book, and this is an album that I knew was in the book. What reminded me of this album was in the shop the other day, and picking up some bits and bobs, and the album's first song was on. This album is one that I was a fan of anyway, and it is Sade's debut album, Diamond Life, from 1984. Released on July 16th, 1984. The genres among many that are attached to this album are soul, smooth jazz, R&B, and sophistipop. A common misconception is that Sade is a solo artist, but actually Sade is the name of the band, named after the band's lead singer, Sade Adu. Diamond Life has actually sold upwards of 10 million copies worldwide, and went to number 5 in the US and number 2 in the UK. The album was a smash critically as well as commercially, and won the Brit Award for Best Album in 1985. Rolling Stone have actually placed Diamond Life at number 200 in their 500 greatest albums of all time. So to the music itself, and the album kicks off with the absolutely amazing Smooth Operator, which is based around a addictive bossa nova beat that gets under your skin, and just those vocals from Adu, just sonic velvet, and some sultry saxophone that is pretty much a mainstay throughout the course of the album. It's worth mentioning at this point that of course front and center in the across the album's 9 songs are Adu's vocals and writing partner Stuart Matthewman's delicious sax playing. Underpinning Adu and Matthewman at the back is the rhythm section of Paul Denman on bass and Dave Early on drums. If you play bass, you need to hear this album. This is a masterclass in how to make interesting bass lines that don't try and steal the show. And Early's drumming is ridiculously tight, very non-flashy. Just a perfect example of how important a really tight rhythm section can be, especially on music with as much space and air to breathe as these songs have. Another highlight for me is track 2, Your Love Is King, which was actually the lead single from the album. It's a very pretty, beautifully written love song with one of the lustiest, shall we say, saxophone lines that you're likely to hear. The album's opening trio of songs makes it very clear that Adu is an extremely talented vocalist with a style and tone all of her own. But it's not until we get to track number 4, Frankie's First Affair, where she actually really works out her voice and shows you the extent of her range. And it's quite astounding, really. Another highlight for me is Cherry Pie, which has just one of the best vocal hooks on the album, and really playful lyrics. And for me, the best track is actually seems to be one of the less talked about from the album's 9 songs, which is the song Sally, which is actually about the Salvation Army and what it does for, you know, people down on their luck, homeless people. But yeah, on Sally, she does her best Billie Holiday impression, whether intended or not. It's quite eerie how in certain passages of the song it really is quite reminiscent of Billie Holiday. Closing out the album is a really interesting take from Sade on the Timmy Thomas classic Why Can't We Live Together, a really poignant anti-war song that is extra relevant right now, I guess. The fidelity on Diamond Life, the production and the mix is absolutely tremendous. Robin Miller, who is no slouch when it came to producing records anyway. So, but it did make me keep checking that this album was definitely from 1984. It just sounds absolutely amazing, and was one of the reasons that it was just so easy to keep going back to. Aside from the quality of the material, the sound was just it's so crisp and so clear, and all the instruments and vocals just seem to really have their own space in it, and you can hear everything that's going on, and nothing is overshadowing anything else. So guys, that's it. Diamond Life by Sade. Quite surprised actually that this is the only Sade album that's in the book. I would have bet that 1992's Love Deluxe was also in there, but there we go. So what did you think? Are you a fan of this album already? Do you agree or disagree with any of my points? Perhaps you're going to actually now check out the album because of this. I'd love to know, whichever case it is. So anyway, until the next one, stay rad.